I finally got my new brakes that I ordered on eBay. Oops. That's better. That was rough. What's inside here? Brake pads, another box, brake rotors. So now we take the rotor out of the box, put it in place, just tighten this last lug nut, and we are finished. Just kidding. Put the car in park, or in first gear if you have a manual. Set the parking brake, and block the back wheel. Turn the wheels to the side you're going to be working on for easier access to the caliper. Loosen the lug nuts a little bit so it'll be easier to get them off once the car's in the air. Find a solid jacking point and jack up the car. Add a jack stand for a little extra support and slowly lower the car until it's on the jack stand. Now finish removing the lug nuts. Now you can take the wheel off, but don't lose it because we're going to need it later. These brakes will probably last a few more miles, but the rotors are heavily grooved and rusted, and while the pads do have some meat left on them, right here and here, I'd say it's time to change them anyway. First we need to remove the caliper bolts here and here, and in order to do that, we need a 3/8 inch Allen head socket. The bolts are loose, so now I'll pry the caliper off with a screwdriver. Don't let the caliper hang on the brake hose. In this case, I can put it right on top of the spindle. Now I can remove the rotor. The best way to check the rotor is to measure it with a caliper, and I think we got the measurement we need. It's good to get rid of some of the rust off the hub with a brass brush. Now just pop the old brake pads out of the caliper. And use a C-clamp to push the piston back all the way into the caliper. These brake bolts are filthy, so I'm going to clean them a little bit with the brass brush. And now I'm going to hit them with a little bit of this brake lubricant so they slide better. Next, a little bit of brake cleaner on a paper towel to clean the factory anti-rust coating off the rotor. Now I can install the rotor. Next, I install the inner brake pad and the outer. Now I reinstall the caliper, making sure the brake hose isn't twisted. Install the freshly lubricated bolts and tighten them to spec. Now reinstall your wheel. Start your lug nuts by hand. Snug them up with the wrench. Now slowly lower the car and tighten the lug nuts to spec using a star pattern. Now move to the other side of the car and repeat everything that you did. Finally, start the engine and pump the brake pedal to get rid of the slack in the calipers. And now your car has new brakes.